Hey everybody, so this video is going to be about how I met Faber Drive and them making me cry. So I have my phone, I've written down like some notes so I can so I could remember it all and everything. So it basically started when my friend asked me to babysit about a week before they were in town. They're in town for the school or the local college's annual pig fest. So I babysat and she's like, rather than paying you, can I pay you with a pig fest ticket? Because she wanted to go but she didn't want to go without me. Like, yeah, that's cool, I'll have that. So I texted the day of, which was Friday, April 12th, and I said, what time do you think you're going to the school or college? And she's like, about 5 o'clock. So I was like, okay, I'll meet you there at about 5. So I met up with her and her boyfriend and we were waiting for the food. We ate and it was really, really cold, so we were like, yeah, we'll leave and come back for the concert. Like, we had our wristbands and stuff like that, so we're just like getting when the concert comes on. As we were leaving, we saw another friend and her husband, so we're like, oh, I'll just stay with them, see, like, get caught up with them, because I hadn't seen them in like almost a year, like my friend that we met up with walking out. So I like, yeah, see how she's doing, so on and so forth. Her and her husband ate, like, I'd already eaten, so I didn't really need any more food. So we were getting caught up and it was getting really cold, so we thought by the time we get from where the food was outside inside to the lobby, it'll be about 10 minutes before the actual concert starts, and we can have a smoke, blah blah blah. So we walked back and we're sitting in the college in the lobby area, and me and her husband are talking and we're all talking among ourselves, and then we go in where the concert is, and we were watching the first band, which was Diesel, and they were quite good. They're like teenagers and it's like a good start for them. So when Faber Drive came on, I was quite near the back, so I went like down the side where there's a gap just to take pictures. I wasn't like pushing in or anything, I was just getting closer to get pictures. So this one volunteer, like at the school that's volunteering for the thing, was like, would you like to get closer if you're taking pictures? Like, oh, thank you. So and she's like, I'll go in there, and it's like right near the front, and this other volunteer sees me coming in and she's like, no, you have to go near the back. And I'm like, well, she just said I can go here, as long as I stay away from that box that moves. And she's like, no, you have to go near the back. And so someone else, the volunteer that said, no, she can go there, you can go there, it's literally like, no, she can go in there. I said she could. So I got in front, like I was like literally in the front row. The stage is like right in front of me, and I'm standing in front of JP, the guitarist. So I'm there, I'm taking pictures and I'm taking videos, which you've probably seen, which is I uploaded before these. And so I'm there and I'm taking videos and pictures and everything, and I'm there and I do the hand heart. Like, I put my phone in my pocket because I just wanted to not keep on doing videos and pictures and running up my battery. So I did the hand heart and JP did it back to me, and I'm like, oh my god, he actually saw me do it. And then he did it like quite near, like at the end of the song, and I shouted, JP, I love you, and he shouted back, I love you too. So I'm there, I'm still dancing, I'm still taking videos, still taking pictures and so on and so forth. And I have my bag with me, but I can't zip it up because my Pigfest shirt's in there and I'm not wearing it. So I'm like, oh screw this, I don't really want this shirt. I'll throw it at stage. So I threw it and it landed by the drums, and Faber, the lead singer, was by the drums as well, picked it up, puts it on. So I'm like, oh my god, he's wearing my Pigfest shirt. So because I was quite close up and there was a lot of people, I was dancing, I was a bit hot, so I went outside for a cigarette to cool down and everything. And the security guard's like, well, when you finished your cigarette, you have to go outside. Not outside, sorry, out into the lobby area so they can dismantle the stage and set up the new one for the comedy show that was going on later, because the concert had to be moved inside because of the wind and the rain and everything. So I'm like, okay. So I walk in, go to the lobby, and my friend's like calling me, Lauren, I'm first in line. She's like, come and stand with us, we're going to meet them. So there's there's a long line, and this girl standing behind me, she's like, you're pushing in. So my friend's like, no, actually she's not, I said she could stand with us. So we were waiting around trying to wait to go and see them, and the volunteer people were like, we're going to take the first 4 people, and I was like the 4th person in the line. And then it kind of just ended up that we all went in and we were just in a long line. So I'm near the front, but as we go in to where they're doing the meet and greet, I'm by the merchandise area. So I get a black Faber drive with different coloured bits that say Faber drive on it. This wristband that says Faber drive, and then hashtag LipTour 2013, which lip stands for Lost in Paradise. And Faber, the lead singer, sees me and he's like, oh, you're the girl that was standing in front of JP giving them hand hearts and threw the shirt. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, you're having such a good time, blah blah blah. And he's like, they hadn't even done the meet and greet, they were just waiting for one of the other band members. I'm like, oh my god, you remember me? He's like, yeah, you're cool, you're there dancing along. So the last member of the group comes in, who's outside, and Faber gives me a hug, and then JP comes and is like, you're the girl that gave me the hand heart and said I love you and blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, oh my god, do you remember me? And I was just so excited that they were there actually, speaking to me. So JP then gave me a hug over the merch box, and I'm not that tall, I'm only 5 foot. So we're leaning over. So then my friends have all gone, and I'm there getting my 2 tickets signed and everything, and they're giving me hugs, and I get to the last guy, Seamus, and he's like, did you enjoy it? And we were talking, and I'm like, yeah, oh my god, and I'm welling up because I've just met them again. They gave me hugs and I met them, and he's like, come and have a hug, but we kind of lose balance, and I'm kind of trying to get my balance back as we're hugging, but it's not really working, and he's losing his balance, and I end up photobombing this poor girl's photo. She wanted a picture with Faber Drive, and I'm there photobombing her photo because I'm hugging Seamus. So yeah. And I was waiting for my other friend who was behind me, and we left, and I opened the door, and the door didn't even have time to close, and I screamed and literally burst into tears, oh my god. So we're outside again, with my friends, they're smoking, I'm smoking, we're having a good time, we're laughing and joking, and I didn't realise how long we were out there, because the queue was quite long for the meet and greet, that they had gone into another room, the TSI room, and so I'm like, oh my god. So I walk over, and I'm not too close at first, and I'm there and I'm taking pictures, and my friends were all laughing and were like, oh, she's going to be a paparazzi because she's like, look at her, she's talking like joking around and everything. So I go over to the window and I'm like right up at the window and I'm like waving and they're waving back. So then I go inside, like I leave them, I go inside and get a drink and talking to my friends, so on and so forth, because they'd already gone in. And then I'm like, you know what, I'm really hot, I'm just going to stay outside for a while. So I'm out talking to some random people that I just met, and then I walk over to the window and Faber sees me again. And I got my phone and I have the right pad, and it's just an app that I downloaded for free, and I wrote on there, JP made me cry, smiley face, and held it up to the window so he could see what I'd written, because like there's obviously windows there. So he found the door and he came out and was like, JP made you cry? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, is it because he was horrible to you? I was like, no, because I'm happy that I saw him, so on and so forth. And so Faber's like, would you like a picture? I'm like, oh yes please. So because it's the iPhone 4, I got the camera here and the camera here. So we took a selfie and he's like, oh, you know what, take one more. So we took one more, and then he's like, oh well, you know what, let's take one more. So we ended up taking 3 photos, and he's like, you know, you have really pretty eyes. I'm like, oh thank you, that's so nice. And he's like, I like your accent as well. I'm like, oh my god, that's so cool. So we're there and we're talking for a while, and then he's like, I'm gonna go in. I was like, well, if you see JP, tell him that I want a picture taken with him. He's like, yeah, we'll do, blah blah blah. So I go in and I get a drink and I go back out and I go over to the window again, and I can't get JP's attention. So I go to the security guard. I finally get like the security guard's attention, and I'm like, can you get, and I wrote in my phone again, can you get JP? He's like, yeah. So they're all talking and he's like, and I could see that he's like, sorry, someone's at the window for you. And they all look around and I'm there and I wave at him, and he's like, and he goes like 2 seconds, like holds up 2 fingers, and I'm like, yeah. So he finally comes to the door, opens it, and I'm like telling him how he made me cry, because I was so happy to meet him, so on and so forth. So I'm like, can I have a picture? And he's like, yeah. So he took one picture, but it looks like really blurry because it's like there's no light behind us, because it was like 10:30 at this point. And so we did it in the light, and then he gave me a hug and so on and so forth. And then Seamus comes out, sorry, and yeah, he's like, so what are you two getting up to? And I'm just in tears at this point, and JP goes, oh, you know, we're just making out. And I've just gone, oh my god, like this, and put my head down, because I don't want to let them know that I'm crying, even though like they saw me cry. And JP's like, Seamus, give her a hug, you made her cry. So I'm like, oh my goodness. So then he's like, you know what, let's have a group hug. And he comes in and they're like giving me a group hug, and he's like, Seamus says, is it because I smell bad? I'm like, no. He's like, you're happy to meet us? I'm like, yeah. So then he's like, you have a cool accent. I'm like, oh my god, thank you, you have a cool accent. And so he's like, how long have you been over here, so on and so forth. Where are you from? They actually thought I was from Liverpool. I'm like, hell no, the furthest north I've been is like Ipswich. So yeah, I'm like, no, I'm just like outside of London kind of thing. He's like, oh, that's where Simon Cowell's from. And they're saying how they didn't like Simon Cowell, so on and so forth. And they're like, can you say brilliant like Simon Cowell does? So I said brilliant, and they're like, so nice. And I said, oh, they're like, are you sure it's because we don't smell bad? And I'm like, no. I probably smell bad because I've been smoking a lot tonight, you know, I've been drinking, so on and so forth. I smoke more when I drink. And they're like, oh no, you're fine. And then she was like, well, on that note, I'm having one, would you like one? I was like, oh, thank you. And he's like, oh, you're so polite with your little thank yous, and it sounds so proper. And I'm like, oh my god. And I'm like fangirling, crying and blushing all at the same time. And I'm like, oh my goodness, they are so nice. So we're there, we're just chatting. He's like, excuse me, I just got to make a phone call. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Shane said that. So me and JP were just talking, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so nice. And then one of the girls comes out and was like, well, you have to come back inside. And I'm like, no, they're talking to me, like, I don't want them to leave. And so Shane was like, well, add me on Facebook. And I was like, okay, Pinky swear that you'll add me. And he's like, no, let's middle finger swear, because pinkies don't swear. So we middle finger swore that we would add each other on Facebook. And yeah, as they went in, they gave me hugs. And that is the story of how they made me cry. How I met them and they made me cry.
Tonight a candle lights the room. Tonight it's only me and you. Your skin like gravity is pulling every part of me. I fall, you and I collide. What if I stay forever? What if there's no goodbye? Frozen for a moment here in time. Yeah. If you tell me the sky is falling, we'll see that the stars collide. The only thing that matters in my life is you and I tonight. Our eyes closed, the candle burns away. But I know the fire still remains. This love is all we need. We fit together perfectly. I fall, you and I collide. What if I